Welcome back to Proper Madness. I'm happy to have you back if you're a returning listener. If you're a new listener, my name is Sabby, and I have a very unique perspective on mental health. I believe wholeheartedly that we can turn anything that we have been through and alchemize it into bettering ourselves mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I also get to have the wonderful chance to speak to some amazing individuals, all very unique in their own stories from all around the world. They get to tell their lives, their stories, their hardships, and how they've overcome it. It helps you feel less alone, to know and understand that the way out is always through the eye of the storm, no matter how much we like to avoid it. Grab a cup of tea. If you're not a tea drinker, grab your coffee, and let's sit down and tune into ourselves so that we can learn to connect to other people. We never know the weight of our words and how they might help someone. Hi, hello. It's been a while since I've just dropped in and done a solo episode that is, something where I'm not being performative. I'm just sitting here talking about my thoughts, my emotions, what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and what I've been going through. Just unfiltered. I'm not going to edit anything. I'm not going to cut anything out. I'm just simply going to speak from my heart and my body and upload it. And whoever needs to hear this will hear it. And whoever it reaches, it will reach. I've been focusing more on breath lately. Like breath to movement, breath to body, breath to being present. I haven't been in a mode of wanting to create for quite some time, but I think that was just due to my own blockages, my own resistance, my own thoughts, feelings, and emotions where I thought I need to show up a certain way in order for people to get me. And I think a lot of us do that still. A lot of us think we need to have a safe space created for us to feel what we need to feel, for us to be who we want to be. And as much as many, well, I can't speak. That's just going to stay in there. Um, as many of you know, dance has been something that's very important to me. I've talked about pole dancing, and that's, some really sexy, sensual stuff. But also, on the other hand, there's the movement of dance where it's not just pole dancing. So let me break it down for you. The studio that I go to is quite unique. There's only a few places like this around, and I don't know why there aren't more, because I think more people need this. And it's only based for women, but man, if men could have something like this, maybe it's weightlifting for them. I don't know. If anyone can chime in and let me know, that'd be great. But for me, dance has been something where I'm consciously aware of the emotions moving through my body. Um, and I've really been working on creating a safe space within myself. And everything always seems to go back to my dating life and love and relationships and connection. And I had a friend of mine a long time ago, and I think it was a projection of his. He'll probably listen to this and know and understand that. But he told me, he's like, Sabby, for as long as I've known you, all you've done is talk about boys. You've just been talking about relationships and how those are affecting you and what you're going through on that end. And he's like it kind of seems like you're so focused on being with someone and finding the right person that it's not going to happen that way. You're going to have to just focus on yourself and it'll happen organically. And I didn't want to listen to him. Um and I thought maybe he was just kind of full of it. I thought maybe he had a crush on me, so he was just trying to keep me for himself. It's sad that I automatically jumped to that conclusion and assumption. That's on me. But later on, down the line, I started realizing, oh my God, I've really just been so focused on trying to fill a cup that's empty instead of just trying to fill my own cup. And, as much as I talk about that, finding someone else whose cup is already full and allowing us to create something pretty abundant together. And today I finally hit a point after going to dance class last night where I realized I was incredibly emotionally unavailable for quite some time. That I was projecting my own emotional unavailability onto all the relationships in my life. I would think of all the excuses why something couldn't work with someone that actually was available to me, that actually showed me maybe what I wanted, maybe not the right person, but just generally, like all the lessons that I've been going through. And I think, oh, this can't work because it doesn't hit this criteria. And lately, one specific person has been on my mind. Um, it's someone that I have met at the gym, and if I really take a step back and I look at how this man was treating me, there was a lot of care, there was presence, there was trying to include me in conversations, trying to connect with me, trying to really actually get to know me. The first thing I told him about my podcast, the first thing he did is he went and listened to it on a drive up to Northern California. And I remember stopping and going, wow, someone actually cares enough about me and wants to get to know me as a person, even if it's just friendly and it's not romantic, but cares enough about me as a person that they want to learn about me. And instead, the people that I've been trying to date, the people that I've been trying to connect with, don't care to know much about me. Um, they just kind of see me as some sort of physical vessel that they want to obtain. And I was telling someone this the other day. I'll jump back to this person in a second and to my dance class. I'll wrap it around. Don't worry. I won't let my ADHD kind of carry this whole thing. Um, but I was talking to a friend of mine the other day and I went, you know what? I'm kind of sick and tired of, yes, yes, I have always been someone that's very attractive, and that's a good thing for me to know and own. And if that makes you uncomfortable that I know that I am attractive, then maybe you should turn and look at yourself in the mirror and wonder why that bugs you. I had a glow up though later on in life because I actually started taking care of myself, but then I let my physical be the thing that attracts people, and when you allow that to be it, everything you attract is going to be very surface level. Yes, it's good to have sensuality. Yes, sexuality is beautiful and it's primal, but there's a time and a place for both. And I was kind of sick and tired of being placed in a box because of the way that I looked. I don't want to be lusted after. I don't want to be seen as something instead of someone. And that's how I've been attracting people. Is not the depth, but oh, am I attracted to them? Great. But am I actually being emotionally vulnerable with the right people, or am I being emotionally vulnerable with people that I deeply crave and yearn to see me and to understand me, but really truly they won't because they don't see that in themselves. And depth can scare people. And my level of self-worth has just skyrocketed within the last few weeks. It hasn't exactly been easy. It's been messy. It's been bumpy, it's been emotional, it's been hard. And the people who tell you that building your self-worth is easy and it's just saying a bunch of affirmations and looking in the mirror and reframing your mind, they're full of shit. They're just doing like the surface level stuff. The real stuff is living your life. The real stuff is failing. The real stuff is going out into the world and getting told no 100 times until you learn your lesson and you're like, okay, this isn't working. How can I reframe this and how can I take a step in the right direction? And the person at the gym that, to be honest, I've always liked for a long time, he used to go to my other gym, strangely enough. But he's much younger than me. And that scares the shit out of me because I dated someone who was much younger than me and they were in a completely different stage of life than me. 100% different. And I went, I can't put myself in this position again where I am purposely going for someone that I know it's not going to work out with because we don't have the same goals in mind. We're not on the same life path. I want to get married and have kids and settle down. Someone who's in their early 20s, not so much. You know what I mean? Can that be changed? Yes. Is it rare that that happens? Yes. Should you label things too quickly? No, and that's what I'm learning. Even if this person has come into my life as just a friend and there's no romantic interest on their part, um, it's taught me to go for the people that when you drop your headphones and you leave them somewhere, they're the first ones to notice that you've dropped them. They pick it up and they hand it to you because they care and because they're attentive and they want to connect with you. They want to understand with you. Headphones might be a really weird analogy there, but that's something that happened. That was actually the first thing I noticed. Um, but all these people that come into our lives, sometimes it's not permanent. Sometimes it's just to teach us something. Sometimes it's to show us, hey, sometimes we can get in our own way with what we want in life. And so last night I was at dance class. I haven't been to the dance studio in a long time. So yes, I do pole dancing. You know, sensuality is very important. Dance is very important. We have emotions and stories stuck within our bodies that can be released through movement. And if you're into working out, if you're into moving your body, if you're into that somatic approach, you'll understand this. But the studio that I go to, there's pole dancing, yes, but there's also feminine sensual movement, which is separate, but they have poles in the studio, so they brought it together, which I think is a very smart thing to do. And at that studio, it's very much about connecting to your sensuality, your senses, and allowing emotions to move through your body and allow your body to tell you what it needs, because so many times our mind will get in the way. Our mind will come up with a million different excuses. Our mind will try to rationalize and intellectualize what our body is feeling. And when your body is feeling lit up about something, trust it. Does it mean it's going to be a permanent thing? No. Does it mean it's going to be something that's going to lead you to what you've always wanted? No, but it might lead you to a part of yourself that you may need to understand to get you to where you need to be and to ultimately get you to where you're supposed to, land in whatever divine timing that is. And I last night I had dance with a new teacher who used to be a student. I've never danced with her before. I've never taken any of her classes. It was a smaller class. And so what it's like is there's a warm up at the very beginning where they play a few songs, and then at the end of the warm up, then you take a little break, and then you get to choose your own song that you would like to dance to, and you dance your little damn heart out. And you just let your body do what it needs to do and express what it needs to express and tell the story that it's been wanting to tell for a long time. You just haven't listened to it. So the warm up. Now listen, I I love music. I do. And music is very important to me because it helps me express emotions that I can't express sometimes verbally. Um and I've always been a fan of like kind of like darker rock, alternative, or very lyrical, like violin or something poppy or something that has some emotionality to it and depth. If music doesn't have depth to it, it won't do anything for my body. Will I still listen to it and enjoy it? Of course, but with dance, it's a little different. So the warm up, no songs, except for one, made me feel in my body and it made me so angry. I was just mad. I was like, fuck, I was like, I hate all of these songs except for one. And the one song that I had, it was like a tease. And it just kind of, what it did is it stirred up all this energy in me to be released. And so I, at the end of the warm up, my teacher goes, "How's your body feeling?" I was like, "Frustrated And like you stirred a lot up because that's not music I like to listen to and it does nothing for me. It has no depth for me except for one song. And she just kind of giggled and I was like, okay. And then the assignment this week at the studio was a long song. Usually the songs that we're supposed to like pick are like 3 to 4 minutes long because you have to get through a lot of people. This time it's 5 to 8 minutes. You can pick a song that's like really long just so that you have the space to tell all of what you need to tell. And we watched someone at first who like did like a remote little Zoom thing. I really don't know why. I don't know what's going on there, but hey, good for them. We watched that person, and then my friend who goes to that studio, she left right after that person performs. Like, well, this is weird. Now we're down to only 4 people in class, and I was number 4. So I went, all right, well, I guess I'm going, second to last. There were 5 people now, I'm 4. And then I got to, witness someone else dance, and then that person left right after, and I went, what the fuck is that? I was like, I kind of want people to watch me. I want people to watch me. I want people to witness me, but like the people that I'd want to watch me and that I'd want to witness me are gone. And again, like more emotions got stirred up. I went, I feel abandoned. I feel discarded. I feel like, why aren't I being given the space to show people what I want to show them? And then it was time for me to perform. Um, well, actually, first someone else performed before me, and so you get to warm up. And when you do warm up before someone else does, you're still dancing and moving in your body. And the song that this woman picked was a Tool song, which, oh my gosh, Tool does something to me. So, of course, I'm moving my body. I'm feeling some emotions. I'm going, all right, something's coming here. Like something in my body clearly needs to get out. And then I was next. And there's only 2 people left in class besides the teacher. And I just felt so sad. And I gave my teacher 3 songs to pick from. The 2 were Sleep Token songs that I absolutely love. And then one was Type O Negative, which is like an 80s, 90s rock kind of vibe. I was feeling some darker stuff today, or last night, which I have that side of me, but I tend to hide it and stuff it down because I think it's going to scare people. And well, I'm not going to do that anymore. And so the song she picked, the title of it was Are You Really Okay by Sleep Token. And it's, in my opinion, a song about like, self-harm and watching someone kind of just destroy themselves and pretend like they're okay. And I was dancing to this song, and immediately when it started, like everything inside of me that I have been avoiding maybe for the last few weeks just came out. And I felt and knew the story that my body was trying to tell me. And I like cried my eyes out while I was dancing. Like, this sounds weird, so just, but it's like more somatic movement, if that makes sense. And so I'm still moving slow, I'm still moving sensually, I'm still moving. And when the song was done, I was just like laying on the floor. I felt relieved. And then you get a cool down if you want to, where while the other person, like the person after you is performing, you can still move your body in like a corner. And so the next song was Hallelujah, the original version. And I just was able to kind of finish the story that my body wanted to tell me. And what it told me is that I have this fear of being unconditionally loved and feeling safe because my grandfather, who I was very, very close with when I was 19, passed away. And he was the one person for me at that time when I was just in like so many formative years and I was going through such a dark period. He was like the light for me. He always had my back. If anyone in my family ever had any issues with me, he was there by my side, willing to bat. He was that strength. He was the healthy masculine figure for me personally, because my relationship with him was different. Um, that allowed me to. He was the one who really just allowed me to be myself and to just live unapologetically like me. Did some of my ways kind of, make him question himself and made it make him confused because he was an Indian man born and raised in India and I was just a rule breaker and a little black sheep? Yes, of course. But he was always there. He was always there. He was always with me. He was always so encouraging for me to just be me. And when I lost him, someone in my family, their words were, and this is when I got to the hospital after my grandfather passed away from cancer, and I was a wreck. The first words said to me were, "This is your fault. You didn't spend enough time with him, and now look what happened because you were so selfish. How could you?" And some of the other things that were said were like, "How could you ever be so selfish to be so involved in your own life that you don't care about your own grandfather and you never got to spend time with him and now you missed out on his final days?" At 19 years old, I'm in college, which if I'm in college, I'm supposed to be focused on myself. My grandfather had been sick on and off for a while. And in college, I had my own stuff that I was dealing with. And then my father, was also sick as well. And so I had a lot happening. And so for those words to be said to me, it perpetuated this idea in my head that I don't deserve someone to unconditionally love me. I don't deserve to feel safe with someone. I don't deserve for someone to see me. I don't deserve for someone to be attentive to me. Male figures. Um, and so that just sits in your brain subconsciously. And consciously, you might be aware of, yeah, that's not what I want, but your subconscious kind of drives the wheel of the car. And you're going to attract and be in scenarios and situations that perpetuate that same narrative. So, of course, I'm going to be going for people who devalue me, for people who talk down to me, I'm going to start going for people who are just kind of physically attractive but have no depth to them because I'm scared of that. And that's something I had with my grandfather. And then it just wrote this story of you can't ever focus on yourself and live your life and be happy. So, of course, I'm living that narrative too. And putting myself in situations and relationships that do that as well, where I'm being controlled or, yeah. And so I have this deep fear of abandonment of, am I going to do something wrong to make someone leave? And if I finally feel safe with someone, are they just going to go away? But really, truly, that safety needs to be built within yourself first and foremost. And I posted something on Twitter yesterday and people are going absolutely nuts about it. But it was feel everything attached to nothing. And that's the best thing I think any of us can ever do for ourselves. Feel everything, experience everything, but don't attach to it. Attachment is different than, codependency. You can have a healthy attachment to something, within reason, but don't let it be your end all be all of happiness and what you rely upon and what you need and what you want. Don't ever let it be that. And I was doing that. I can still experience and be present in situations and have fun, but the second you attach all your eggs in that is the second you can just kind of get swept away in being dragged under in not knowing where it's going to go because life is unpredictable. You're not going to have control over where life is going to go next, ever at all. So if you attach to any experience so hard, you're going to be riding a roller coaster of hell of emotions and it won't be good for you. So yeah, I thought I'd share that with you, that you and me, we all are deserving of safety. You're deserving of being with someone who makes you feel safe. If they leave, that's okay. You're still safe within your body, you know? So create that safety within your body. That safety is built with trust. It's built with listening to your body. It's built with not being in your mind and dropping into your body. So find a way that helps you to do that so that you can listen to the story that your body's telling you. And my body was telling me, hey, we really want connection, like real connection. We really want community. We really want to be seen. We want to be heard. We want to be valued. We don't need all the attention from everyone in the damn world. We just need to be with the right people. And that's what that lesson taught me too. When people were leaving, I went, you know what? Sometimes I become a little performative when people are watching me because I kind of get off on it. We all do. But when you're just left alone with connection with the right people, it allows you to really drop in and allows you to feel things you need to feel. And so I've been reconnecting with some old friends lately. And the first thing I say to them is, you know what, I'm so sorry. I think I've been emotionally unavailable for most of my life. And now I'm finally here. And I've learned that like the safety that I have in myself first is what will always matter and what will always be leading me, and I need to trust my body always. And so do you. Listen to your body. If you can find a way to get out of your head and into your heart and into your body and just feel and not intellectualize it, not analyze it, you might find out some things that were probably holding you back your whole life. You just didn't know. So yeah, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. Here's to rewriting our narratives and changing our lives for the better. So I'll talk to you on the next one. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you ever want to chat more about anything that this podcast is about, you know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and good old TikTok. And be sure to stay tuned for my Tea Time with Sabby episodes. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or YouTube or whatever streaming platform you happen to be listening to this on, I encourage you to follow, like, subscribe, and rate this so that it pushes it out to whoever else might need it.